Good morning everyone, my name is Michelle. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to another video. It is Wednesday morning the 27th of August. We went to California this morning to the case of little 7-month-old, actually 8 months old, baby Emmanuel Haro. Body has not yet been recovered, but his parents, if we can call them that, Jake and Rebecca Haro, have been formally charged with his murder. They appeared briefly in court yesterday. Rebecca looked nervous. Jake looked, I don't know, nonchalant. But what I want to do in this video is talk about some of the things that are true, but also some of the things that are not true. Let's go. Alright, what's true? Well, we know that on the 14th of August, around 7:45 in the evening, Rebecca Haro called the cops saying that her son, Emmanuel, had been kidnapped. She was changing his diaper outside of the Big Five sporting goods store. She was punched in the face, she got a black eye. When she came round, Emmanuel was gone. Well, no one believes the story. No one believes the pretend crying. I don't know anybody who actually believes them at this point. I really don't know anybody who believes them. And the cops certainly didn't believe them. And then on Friday, they were arrested for his murder. So we know all of that's true. Then we had Jake Haro in his prison jumpsuit, about 20 miles away from their home, with cops helping with the search. Now, they weren't out there that long, and the news came round that baby Emmanuel had been found, but he hadn't. So whatever Jake told them, and we don't know what Jake told them, we don't know whether he's confessed, we don't know whether they've taken him there for some other reason, but Emmanuel hasn't been found. So that's where we're at. Now, Rebecca was interviewed by a journalist, and this is the guy. He appeared on Law and Crime last night, and he said that anybody can interview an inmate. You can just apply for a visitation, and you just give your ID, you turn up, and if the inmate wants to talk to you, then you can have a conversation with them. And he turned up, asked to speak to Rebecca. She agreed to talk to him, and she told him the story, the same story. She's sticking to her guns. So is it that Jake is telling the truth and Rebecca isn't? We do not know. I'd love to know. Are they trying to turn one against another? Is he going to hang Rebecca out to dry and say it was all her? Those things remain to be seen. Now, because the case has gained quite a bit of traction in the media and on social media, there's a lot of speculation. Speculation's fine as long as it's grounded in the facts we do know. You know, we can speculate on why they murdered baby Emmanuel. We can speculate on whether it was all one or all the other, or both of them together. We can speculate on whether it was ongoing abuse or whether it was just something that, you know, one-off. Something happened and they panicked. We can speculate on all of that because those speculations fit with the facts we know. That cops have reason to believe that Emmanuel is dead, that Emmanuel has been murdered. We don't know why. Are they just complete rotters? Is there something else going on? All right, so this reporter, he has been trying to find the facts in all of the rumours and speculation, and some of them are really wild. Some of them I'd heard, some of them I hadn't heard. So he's been kind of following up with the sheriff's office to try to get some clarity as to which of the rumours might be true. Now, one of the things that came out was true. Jake and the entire family, like his stepdad, his brother, they put like workers' comp claims in. So Jake had worked with Walmart, with Amazon, And there was all these workers' comp claims. So what they're trying to do, like, get free money, get some compensation for something that didn't happen. But I don't know. So that did the rounds, and that turned out to be true. Okay, so I'm going to play you some of the things that this guy has found out are not true. So these are the things that did the rounds, and they're not true. Some of them I'd heard of, some of them I hadn't.
There's been a lot of things that I've had to check out to see whether they're true or not. Someone said that someone broke into the Haro's home and was selling tours of the place. Check with the sheriff's department. That turned out not to be true.
I hadn't heard that one. Someone broke in and was giving tours. No, I hadn't heard that one.
Someone posted a video claiming that authorities had dug up Emmanuel's head.
I've heard that. Actually, people in my comments had said that someone's dug up Emmanuel's head. And no, that's not true. That's not true. Baby Emmanuel has not been found. Any part of him has not been found.
Jake's brother died 5 years ago. People have all but convicted the Haros of that. But the fact was that he had died from an accidental overdose of fentanyl, ethanol, and cocaine. And that's, again, according to the sheriff's department.
So they didn't murder Jake's brother. He was an addict who accidentally overdosed.
One put out a fake news release. It was not on any kind of official stationery or anything, but it was an image on Facebook claiming to be from the sheriff's department, and it said that the sheriff's department had gotten video and copies of receipts from a Home Depot, and supposedly Jake and Rebecca had purchased lye, ropes, and a bucket.
Yeah, I heard that. That's apparently not true either, but I'd heard that one.
Take it at face value. They take it to be true. Very few people, it seems, check into these things. Do they go looking for, that information being published elsewhere? And people just assume things. A state recreation area put out a news release yesterday saying, no one searched for Emmanuel here. Yes, we are open. It's just crazy. But that's the era we're in, where something that's sensational, really on the face of it, gets even more sensational because people dive into it and they want a piece of it.
Look, I believed the news that came out from social media that Emmanuel had been found because it made sense. If Jake's out there supposedly confessing and showing the police where the body is, that made sense because Jake actually was out there. But turns out that, yeah, Jake was out there, but Emmanuel still hasn't been located, and no part of Emmanuel has been located. Something that this guy didn't mention, which I just want to point out. Someone posted this story in my Facebook group last night. If you want to join my Facebook group, the link to it is in the description box of every video. So if you want to go and check out my Facebook group, you can do. There's almost 9,000 members now. So this is a story from 2009. And I don't know whether this is Rebecca. It's the same name, the same surname as Rebecca's brother, the brother who is serving a life sentence for murder. And it's an unusual surname. But I don't know whether this is actually Rebecca. There's no crime as such here, but if it is her, it shows what a liar she is. Anti-abortion blogger admits hoax. So this is June 13th, 2009. In painstaking detail and heartbreaking prose, a young single mother shared with the world the compelling story of carrying to term a baby she knew was going to die. A baby, a girl named April because of the month she was due, was to be born with a rare disorder called holoprosencephaly that would prevent her brain from properly developing, causing her face to be deformed and ultimately result in her early death. In just a few short months, hundreds of thousands of readers driven to the site from other anti-abortion and religious sites praised the mother for her strength and her devout Christian faith. At first, B, or April's mom, the monikers the anonymous blogger used, asked only for her readers' prayers, and they came in droves, not just from readers caught up in a riveting life drama, or from Christians who celebrated her story as an anti-abortion parable, but from mothers of sick and dying children who wanted to commiserate and lend their support. But soon, April's mom asked for more than just prayers. She posted a P.O. box to which readers could send gifts or money, on the side of the page where there was once only a form for submitting well prayers emerged a list of adverts. The P.O. box, we don't know whether anybody actually sent gifts. Is that fraud? I guess. Though she described visits with her doctors, plans for her delivery, and posted pictures of herself and eventually the baby, who was born weeks late last Sunday and died hours later, none of the story was true. The hoax was uncovered by the same women who read and commented on the site. Once loyal readers became increasingly suspicious by lack of information, constantly changing due dates, and a planned home delivery. But it was the photo of baby April Rose posted for a moment and then taken down that would unravel the intricate, weeks-long lie. It wasn't a photo of a baby at all, said Elizabeth Russell, a mother and maker of Life Reborn dolls. It was a doll. I have the same doll. I made that doll enough times that there was no mistaking it. I couldn't believe what she was trying to pull. It's outrageous. But once she was found out, she apologised. Rebecca Bueshausen wove a tale for 2 months about being an unmarried mother who chose to carry a terminally ill child to term rather than have an abortion. She posted a lengthy apology on her blog on Sunday, saying she had lost pregnancies in the past. I have suffered this type of loss more than once, to varying degrees, and while the circumstances and the times vary, the pain is very constant. I think she probably just wanted attention. If she wanted to write a blog about the babies that she'd lost in the past, why could she not have done it truthfully? She said her baby was diagnosed with trisomy 13 syndrome, a chromosomal defect that can cause severe mental retardation and death. Followers promised to pray for her baby, April Rose, and sent letters and gifts. But when she wrote about the child's birth, then she posted the doll and she got found out. Jennifer McKinney of Mound, Minnesota, followed the blog and helped promote it. She said the apology did not include enough information to explain why she lied. To be honest, I think she's far from recognising the true gravity of the situation, McKinney said, who writes a Christian blog that dealt with her own difficult pregnancy. Bueshausen's sister Anna said Monday that the falsehood began before the blog and that her sister had dealt with a lot of pain in her life. She said the blog, which she didn't learn about until last week, was a way for her sister to work through it. I do understand why people are mad, and so does she. I see pieces of her life in there. She's so remorseful, she is in immense pain. She didn't respond to emails sent Monday. A woman who answered the phone at the phone number listed for her mother declined comment. In her apology, she said she began writing a story as therapy but became addicted to the attention it generated. She said she lied to a community of people whose only intention was to support me through this time, and that is wrong. And for that, I'm sorry, and you would know. So living in Lockport, but moved back with her to her family's home in Montana after the hoax was exposed. It doesn't appear that she profited in a substantial way from her blog, but she said she made an agreement with an advertiser but was never paid because the ad was not up for the required minimum 45 days. Lockport Police Sergeant Bruce Cruisinger said he didn't know if the department had received any complaints. Police Sergeant Random Stump said his department was not investigating. Don Blumenthal, an adjunct professor at the University of Michigan and Michigan State University who specialises in internet security and cybercrime, said it's difficult to prosecute such cases. It's hard to establish jurisdiction, and even that crime has occurred. And few people have legal skills to prosecute such cases. Okay. So, it was a hoax. I don't know whether that's Rebecca Haro, even though it's the same name as her brother. People say it is. If you've got absolute proof that it is, let me know. It's an interesting tidbit to show that if it's her, she's got a history of lying. Once she gets found out, then she's got to admit it. So, if baby Emmanuel's body is found, will she then admit it? Are we going to get 2 trials, 1 trial together, or are we going to get 2 guilties? Are we going to get 2 guilty pleas and life in prison? Death penalty for me. Horrendous. All right, guys, let me know your thoughts about all of this in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.